dreams. We all want things, but what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? And do you believe you can do anything? But what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm thrilled to be here tonight. Working as a tree trimmer has been quite an adventure. I've learned that trees have more secrets than a gossip magazine. So, get ready for some branching humor. And remember, my manager once said, "Rusty, your trimming skills are so bad that even the trees are growing back just to escape your clippers." While working as a tree trimmer, this is what my manager said about my work. "Rusty, you're like a tree whisperer, but the trees are shouting, 'Help!'" Let me share what my director said about my work on Tuesday. "Even the squirrels are laughing at your tree trimming skills." Just this Wednesday, my colleague said this about me. "You make a chainsaw sound like a rusty spoon." So, there I was on a coffee break when one of my colleagues said to me, "The trees are sending each other texts saying, 'Beware of Rusty.'" Guess what my manager said during our meeting? "You're the reason we had to plant extra trees to replace the ones you've massacred." Last week, my controller threw this curved ball. Even the leaves on the ground are saying, "At least we're in a better place now." You'll get a kick out of what my manager said. You make tree trimming look like a crime scene. Ever had your work summed up by your chief in a single sentence? Mine did. And it was, "Your tree trimming is so bad, the trees are applying for restraining orders." Last week, my controller threw this curved ball. "You're like a tree's worst nightmare come true." I've heard some things in my time, but what my superior said about my work was truly memorable. The trees have started a support group called Survivors of Rusty's Trimming. Let me share what my team had to say about my work just yesterday. "You make a forest look like a bad haircut." Just when I thought I'd heard it all, my team said this about my work. "You're like a tree's arch nemesis." So, on a Friday, my team came up with this gem about my work. Even the branches are saying, "We're better off without him." I couldn't believe it when my executive remarked this. "Your tree trimming is so terrible, the lumberjacks are offering condolences." We went for a team building and my team leader dropped this gem. "The trees have started a petition to ban you from their neighborhood." Here's a good one. My head of department's take on my work was, "You're the only tree trimmer whose work makes the trees look like they're mourning." Let me share what my director said about my work on Tuesday. "Even the tree huggers have switched sides after witnessing your skills." So, my team leader came up with this singer about my work. "You make a tree trimming job look like a tree demolition." So, there I was on a coffee break when one of my colleagues said to me, "Your tree trimming is so awful, the trees are praying for a forest fire to put them out of their misery." I had to hold back laughter when my administrator commented like this. "You're the only tree trimmer who can turn a forest into a haunted woods." You won't believe what my team said about my work recently. "You're like a tree's worst nightmare with a chainsaw." Another day I went to work and my manager said, "Even the beavers are saying, we could do a better job." So, my manager dropped this gem about my work recently. "Your tree trimming skills are so bad, the squirrels are requesting hazard pay." It's like my superintendent woke up and decided to roast my work with this comment. "You make a forest look like a bad hair day." Guess what my team said about my work during one of our meetings? The trees have started a Save Us from Rusty campaign. Picture this. My executives comment on my work went something like this. "Even the leaves are shaking their heads in disbelief at your work." In the realm of unbelievable feedback, my administrator said this about my work. "Your tree trimming is so terrible, the birds are looking for new nesting grounds." The other day, my boss had this to say about my work. "You're the reason we had to introduce tree counseling for traumatized oaks." Guess what my manager said during our meeting? "You make a tree trimming job seem like a crime against nature." While working some extra hours, my team said this. "Your tree trimming skills are so lacking, even the branches are throwing shade at you." Ever had your work summed up by your chief in a single sentence? Mine did. And it was, "You're like the tree's version of a horror movie." My boss's perspective on my work took an unexpected turn when he said, The trees have posted "Beware of Rusty" signs in the forest. One day, this is what my supervisor said about my work. Even the lumberjacks are saying, "We've seen better trimming from a blindfolded beaver." Picture this. My team's comment on my work went something like this: "Your tree trimming is so bad, the tree huggers are looking for a new cause." Just when I thought I'd heard it all, my manager said this about my work: "You make a tree trimming job feel like a comedy show." But not in a good way. I had to hold back laughter when my team commented on my work like this. The trees are filing a class action lawsuit for tree torture. One of my colleagues dropped this gem on Monday: "Your tree trimming skills are so terrible, you've turned the forest into a botanical crime scene." My team's feedback on my work was quite the surprise. Even the squirrels are asking for a refund on their nut investments. Here's a good one. My team's take on my work was: "You're the only tree trimmer who can turn a beautiful forest into a before picture." You'll get a kick out of what my manager said: "Your tree trimming is so atrocious, the trees are praying for an arborist intervention." Just this Wednesday, my colleagues said this about me: "Your tree trimming skills are so awful, even the bushes are laughing." You won't believe the hilarious thing my manager said: "You make a chainsaw sound like a dental drill." My employer's feedback was quite the surprise when he said: "The trees are playing hide and seek with you just to avoid your clippers." We went for a team building and my team leader dropped this gem. Even the tree stumps are saying, "At least he can't mess us up anymore." I couldn't believe it when my executive remarked this: "You're like a tree's arch nemesis." The other day, my boss had this to say about my work: "Your tree trimming is so bad, it's become a running joke among the lumberjacks." While working some extra hours, my team said this: "You make tree trimming look like a tree massacre." Just when I thought I'd heard it all, my team said this about my work: "Even the Christmas trees are requesting asylum from your clutches." Another day I went to work, and my manager said: "You're like a tree's personal nightmare come true." So, on a Friday, my team came up with this gem about my work: "The trees are staging a rebellion, and you're the target." My team's feedback on my work was quite the surprise: "You make a forest look like a bad haircut." Just this Wednesday, my colleagues said this about me: "Your tree trimming is so terrible, it could scare the bark off a tree." Picture this. My team's comment on my work went something like this: "Even the branches are saying, we're better off without him." I had to hold back laughter when my administrator commented like this: "You're the only tree trimmer who can turn a beautiful landscape into a disaster." I've heard some things in my time, but what my superior said about my work was truly memorable. The trees have started a petition to ban you from their neighborhood. So, my manager dropped this gem about my work recently: "You're like a lumberjack's worst enemy." Last week, my controller threw this curved ball: "Your tree trimming is so atrocious, it could make a redwood weep." You won't believe the hilarious thing my manager said: "Even the tree stumps have started a support group to cope with your work." Guess what my team said about my work during one of our meetings: "You make a tree trimming job look like a tree massacre." Let me share what my director said about my work on Tuesday: "Your tree trimming is so bad, the trees are requesting a moment of silence for their fallen comrades." Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a leafy good time tonight. Working as a tree trimmer has its ups and downs. I've learned that laughter can sprout even in the thickest of woods. So, let's branch out and embrace the humor in life. And remember, my manager once said, "Rusty, your tree trimming is so bad that even a beaver with butter knives would do a better job." Thank you for being here and have a good day. See you on the next one.
And we all got dreams, we all want things. But what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? And do you believe you can do anything?
Hey, I may be the worst at my job, but at least I am entertaining. Leave a comment down below and let me know what your manager is saying about your work. And if you didn't enjoy this show, well, I promise I'll try even harder to disappoint you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, stay employed and keep smiling.